So after going back, watching the film and stuff of Saturday's game, just what were some of the biggest things that stood out to you, on the positive side that you liked, things that you'd want to correct going forward? Just what really stood out to you?
Um, I feel like on the positive side, we had a lot of missed plays, especially offensively. Even myself, I had a couple bad plays in that game. Had some bad pocket movement throughout the game. So I just got to get consistent at that. And then just all the plays that we looked out on the field, especially the third down, where we didn't get the first down. I had to end up punting. That was a play. I had bad eyes going through my progression. We had a couple drops that should have led to big plays on the outside receiver. But just overall, we left a lot of plays out there on the field, and that's just something that we got to get better at for this week.
Next, we'll go to Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press. Tim, go ahead.
Thanks, Josh. Hey, Cam.
What's up?
I know you're going to be happy anytime any of your guys get into the end zone, but was there maybe a little bit extra to get Cam McCormick in there, just given how amazing his story is?
Yes, sir. I feel like that was the best touchdown today. Especially it being the first touchdown of the season. Everything that he had to go through physically, and mentally, throughout his journey to get here. And then, for him to get the first touchdown for us this year, plan on giving him a couple more throughout the season. It's just a special moment. I know for him, his family came to the game. And I got a chance to, finally actually hear about the full story when they played it on ESPN, like during pregame while we were at the hotel. So, it was good for him to get in the end zone, but we plan on getting him, a couple more touches throughout the year.
Next, we'll go to Zuby Charles at Kane Sport. It's Zuby.
What's going on, Cam? Can you see me right now?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna two-part question. I know you have a little celebration that you do where you put one hand over your face and kind of wiggle your hands out. Just want to ask you about that, where that started from, and then I got another question after that too.
I got it from my old OC. It started at Western Kentucky. I don't remember the player who started. He's told me the story last year. I started hitting it last year in practice. Then after I would throw a pick in practice at Wazoo, the whole defense started hitting it. That's when I knew they messed with it. So then I just brought it over here. Then they finally, they got to pick off me in practice, and the whole defense started hitting. I was like, yeah, they messed with it. So that's how I started. You have to ask him more like who the player was. I don't know his name, who started it, but I'm gonna blow it up though.
And then my second question was all over social media, people are calling you like the most nonchalant quarterback and all this stuff. Just wanted to know, have you seen, all those TikToks of you and just, where does that swagger and confidence come from?
Just really, how I was raised and, how I play the game of football. And every time I play, I just play like I really want to. And, coming from West Columbia, not a lot of people get opportunity to play Power 5 football. I was the first one in my high school since I think 2010. It was Sean Flannel, I believe. He went to Texas Tech. I was the first one in my high school to go straight D1 out of high school and I have to go JUCO first or another route first. So, every time I get on the field, I just try to, play my best ability, put the team in the best situation to win.
Our next question comes from Jordan McPherson of the Miami Herald. Jordan.
Hey, Cam, I wanted to ask you about the run game behind you, Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher in particular, just how valuable the two of them are going to be for you guys and what that does to help set you up in the passing game.
Those two are going to be real valuable, especially as we get into ACC play where those games are truly the games that matter. And especially having a two-headed monster like that, even with AJ and Chris Johnson, when he starts to get more carries, it's gonna be good. And I think it's gonna be, punishing for other defenses just because you have the game plan around four legit starting running backs. But those guys, they do all the heavy lifting, from running to especially pass protection. Both of them did a great job in pass protection throughout the game. But they gonna continue to be a bless for us. They can continue to make plays for us, and they're gonna for sure have a lot of big runs throughout the season. I know they got one of the hardest jobs on the team at running back, just because the physical toll that they have to put on their body week in and week out. But I'm just grateful to have them blocking for me, and I'm grateful that they're good teammates, and they bring their A game every day in practice, and when it's time to turn on the lights.
We'll do a few more for Cam, and we'll go to Daryl Streeter of Footballville. Daryl.
Cam, how you doing?
Doing good.
You guys seem to be really prepared for their defense. Can you see when the defense doesn't have answers, or is it always just play to play.
You say that again? It like cut out.
You guys seem to be really prepared for their defense. Can you tell when the defense doesn't have answers, or is it always just play to play?
It's really more play to play. And a lot of our stuff, what we do right now offensively, is going to change from week to week, just based on what defense we go by. We're going to adjust routes by what defensive coverage that, we're playing or how the DBs plays. So we're doing a lot of stuff, that our guys are good at, from JG to X, Elijah Roy, all those guys. We're gonna run routes that they're good at, that they can run every route in the tree, and just try to put the ball in space. I think that was the biggest thing that Coach Dawson emphasized to me: just put the ball in space, not really, look for the downfield shot. It'll come eventually, and just take what they give you early on.
We'll wrap up for Cam with Matt Shadell at Kane Sport. Matt.
Yeah, hey Cam. So unless I misunderstood earlier, you were asked the positives and the negatives, and you said the positives were all the misplays because that means you have opportunities to get better. I was curious with that in mind, the hype machine is like in full gear here. You're now a first-round draft pick after one game. Miami's going to the playoffs after one game. Like, how do you keep, not just yourself, but, everyone points to you as an alpha leader. How do you keep everybody focused to make sure that, hey, we've played one game? How do you make sure that's the message?
Just be who we are. We knew, what we're capable of. We knew what was going to happen just because the amount of preparedness that we were, the work that we put in throughout the spring and summer and fall camp. And, just like personally for myself, I was the same player that I was at Wazoo, making plays in the pocket, making plays outside the pocket, leading my guys. But it's just crazy, when you come into a new situation in a bigger market, how everything can change. So, at the end of the day, nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna change for me. I'm gonna always be who I am, and I'm gonna always put the team and myself in the best situation and try to be successful.